Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bruker Nanosurface's webinar on how to enhance your metrology analysis and data reporting. My name is Su Ting and I will be hosting today's webinar. Before we commence, we would like to share that all attendees would be on listen-only mode. There is an opportunity to interact with us and we encourage you to ask questions in the questions window. There will be a 45 minutes presentation followed by 10 minutes of Q&A, which our speaker will answer at the end of his presentation. If we are unable to respond to all your questions due to time limitation, we will respond to you through email. Without further ado, let me introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Lau Wei-Chi. Mr. Lau is a product manager from Optical and Stylus division of Bruker Nanosurfaces, responsible for business and application development in Asia Pacific. He has helped customers develop metrology control processes in semiconductor, PCB, and LED industries. Mr. Lau joined Vico Metrology in 1999 prior to Bruker's acquisition of Vico Metrology division in 2010. He has more than 15 years of experience in the 3D surface metrology industry. Mr. Lau holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering and obtained his MBA in 2006. We now invite Mr. Lau to share with us how to enhance your metrology analysis and data reporting. Mr. Lau, please.
Thank you, Su Ting. Hi everyone, my name is Wei-Chi. I'm the speaker for today's talk, which is about Vision64 Map. Vision64 Map is a post-measurement analysis software which Bruker just launched last year. And today we are going to introduce you some of the features and compare with the current software and how would that help you to do your analysis. So this is today's agenda. So I will first do some introduction of Bruker 3D optical microscope, and also later we'll do some introduction of the Vision64 Map. So Vision64 Map consists of several modules depending on your applications. Some of the modules here you should suit your needs. So as some of you are our current Bruker user for the 3D optical microscope. So just would like to take the opportunity to introduce you the current product in the market right now. So we do have a desktop models, Contour Elite K, Elite I, and also we also have a highly automated Contour Elite X. For the big parts sample measurement, we also have the Ampliflex, which are on the right side of the pictures. So currently, for the Contour GTI, X, and Ampliflex, for these three systems, Vision64 Map come with a default. They come with the system. Whereas for the Contour Elite K, Vision64 software is an option items. So you can contact your sales or your representative in your country for more details about this part. So let me do some introductions of the Bruker 3D optical microscope, which is based on the interferometric technique. So as some of you may already been gone through the training, I just do a brief introduction here. So interferometric is the technique is we have a single light source and like a LED. Depending on the machine that you have, you may have a halogen bulb. So the LED, the light from the LED or the halogen bulb will go through the beam splitter, and then the beam splitter will split the light to two parts, one to the sample and one to the reference mirror, and then we recombine, and then you produce the interferometric patterns, and then we call it fringes, and then after that you will go back to the CCD camera, and then we have the CD camera will capture all the frame and then compile it become a 3D phase map. So this is a cartoon that shows that how it works. So you have a objective and it magnifying on the samples, and when the scanner is scanning down, the camera is capturing the frame for all the heights and then will compile to a 3D phase map. So this this is a cartoon to illustrate how it works. and we integrate it to interferometer to a microscope, we can actually magnify the small things and then measure the applications such as roughness on the surface. We can also measure step height, even the textile. So after measuring, capturing the images, you can use a standard Bruker's Vision64 software, or for old system, you can use a Vision32 version software to do the analysis. So the Vision64 software, for the acquisition part, it comes with a lot of automations. For example, you can program your system to automatically measure multiple points depending on your applications for wafer type or for random locations. And we also can do a stitching. For example, if you field of view is too, you want to stitch a large area like a coin, you can actually program the system to capture the image. So once you have the final image or final data, and you will need the analysis software to do the analysis. For example, you may need a roughness, or you may need a step height, depends on the need. These are a list of standard software that come with a Vision64 currently. Some of the item may be an option, but this is all available. They come with the software in the past. So depending on your version of the software, you may have a Vision32, but currently we have a Vision64. So some of the analysis is only available in the latest system. So what is Vision64 Map? So Vision64 Map is a data analysis and a reporting software that based on digital serves the industry-leading mountain technology. So we integrated that to a Vision64, and then it comes with a complete surface analysis and in different modules. On the right side, you can see that there's a list of modules that come with it. So for, as I said just now, for the models that are being sold in the market right now, for Contour Elite I, X, and also Ampliflex, the basic Vision64 Map software will come with the system, while for the Contour Elite K is an optional item. So the benefit of Vision64 Map software, including excellent visualizations and the display capability. They also come with different languages. I understand that some of you are from different country with different native speaking language like Chinese or Korean. The software, the Vision64 Map software, did have a local language capability. And also it can open up access to a wide range of national norms. Most of the country would use ISO method, but for some country like Japan or Germany, you have come another set of a standard. So if you are serving the customer from different country, and then this is a good software to come up with the parameter that comply to your customer needs in different country. It also have one-click report generations, which I will introduce it in the following slide. So this is a 3D images that when you use a 3D optical microscope to capture the data, and then the data can be exported to Vision64 Map, and then the Vision64 Map is capable of producing these kind of beautiful images. And even can create an animated view of 3D images, and depending on your needs, most of them do not need it, but this is available when you need them for some visual effects. For the data, as some of you is in the manufacturing line, and then you need to report the sample that given by your customer. So the system, this software is able to generate like a Microsoft Word kind of analysis report, and then you can customize the report, and then you can print it out like an A4 size or PDF it using the software. So this is an interface, Vision64 Map software interface. As I show you in the center here, you can do some customization, put your company's logo, the title of the data, and then you can just edit it like a Word software. And you can even save the template and then and generate the report in pages. So for example, after you generated a template, you can actually take multiple images and then it will automatically generate the report by the software. So speaking about language, there are 11 languages available. So to switch language, you can just pull up the options and just click on the language, and then within seconds you can just turn to the language of your local, your needs. For example, in this case, that we can just click on Chinese, and then all the menu and instruction are all in Chinese. And you can do that for Japanese or the Korean software as well. For the report that you generated, you can also switch the language easily. For example, we have listed some parameters that for the 2D analysis here, and for example, the width, maximum height, and mean height. You can just switch the language. Should you have a Chinese customer, and you can just switch the language and then export the report to your customers. And switching of the standard parameters. For example, the example here is we have ISO 25178 height parameters, and should you need to serve your customer in a different region, for example in Germany, and then you can just switch the ISO parameters, and which comply, which is the same as other parameters in Germany. And there are other standards that are available, including Japan, China, England. So should you need to switch the parameter to the similar parameter in other standards, you can do that easily in the software. So let me go through the Vision64 Map modules, and these are the modules that come with these optional modules, and you may need all of them depending on your needs. It includes advanced 2D surface texture module. You also have advanced contour module. If you're from the automotive industry, you will need a 2D automotive module, and other module also available. So I'm going to go through one by one, and you may, if you should have more questions about each individual of them, you can either email us or you can post the questions here that I can answer at the end of these presentations. So the advanced 2D surface texture is a 2D analysis, and it includes all the features listed here. So you can level, you can do the mirroring, and then you can do a touch-up on the 2D scan line, and also you can set a threshold to report the result, to report the data that you want. So for example, in this case, you are capturing a 3D data. You can actually extract the 3D data in line and then do a 2D profile, and then you can do a more analysis from there. So you can extract a 2D profile from a 3D data. This is and also you can line them up and to see the pattern or to see your uniformity for this from this 3D, and then you can do the analysis from there. The second example is you can convert a series of profile into a surface. For example, if you have a lot of 2D lines, and then you can line them up and it will become a 3D pictures. So previously it was a 3D become a multiple 2D lines, but also you can do the reverse from a 2D data to the multiple line data to form a 3D image, and this is available in this module. So we can also have remove doing the filtering. Should you want to do a surface texture analysis, and you can actually apply some form remover, or you can apply the waviness and the roughness filter and to do the analysis. and all these are done using extracting the 2D data from a 3D surface. We can also, for the scan line, once you extract the 2D data from a 3D image, you can actually simulate the scan line should you use a different size of stylus. For example, you can simulate if you use the data. This is the data that how it looks like. If you scan the similar surface using a big stylus, and this will be the data, and we use a smaller size of a stylus, and the red line will simulate how it works on this surface using a medium size of stylus. And you can also use a small stylus, and in this case you certainly need a smaller stylus to scan a surface should you want to go measure the surface using a 2D using a stylus method. So there are also other industrial standard kind of morphological analysis. For example, dilation or erosion, which you can scan, you can simulate above the surface, or you can actually simulate below the surface. So these are the features that are available in this advanced 2D surface texture module. So in this advanced 2D surface texture module as well, you can actually do some touch-up. So you may have a scan line like this, and there are some missing data here, and that is partly maybe because of the dirt, some defect over there. And then you can actually touch up using the software to touch up to repair the line, and then and do the further analysis. You can also this 2D data, 2D profile, you can also do some analysis based on the area below the line. You can actually set a mean line or water line or the peak line, or between the threshold. It can actually tell you how much area is between this threshold. So for example, that in this case, that the area above below the mean line is highlighted in red, and then everything that in the green also above the mean line is also highlighted in green. So you can actually calculate the area that you need below these 2D profiles. So there are other parameters, ISO parameters that are available in this 2D surface texture module as well. So including the ISO 4287, and these are the parameters that are included here. And there are also other parameters that comply to other standards. So with this software package, some of the standard parameters which is not available in the Vision64, the Vision64 Map will complement this part that will include all the parameters for different standards from different countries, and this will be a good complement for your current Vision64 software. So the next module I'm going to talk about is Advanced Contour Module, and this is also a 2D profile kind of analysis. So what it does is you can compare the 2D profile which is extracted from the 3D images and compare with the CAD drawing. And then, for example, in these critical dimensions, you can actually compare with the design, and the green area is within the spec and the red area is our spec. So you can actually compare your scan data with the design, and then output the result whether this scan data is within or out of the design spec. And there are other analysis, advanced contour analysis, that include analysis for bearing. If your company is doing a bearing, and these are the customized parameter only needed in the manufacturer that manufacturing the bearing, ball bearings. So if you are in the specific industry, they will have different parameters that only applicable to specific industry, and this software is has contained all the parameters that are for the different industry. And this is one of the analysis that only apply to a ball bearing, and should you need to analyze this ball bearing for the parameters, then you can get this advanced contour analysis module. So the third module I'm going to talk about here is about 2D automotive module. So in the automotive industry, most of the measurement will be using a 2D method, and some may be using a 3D method to scan the data, but you can extract the 2D data from the 3D data, and then you can do the analysis using these modules. So in this module, all the ISO compliant parameters that needed for the automotive are listed here. You can just doing all kind of automotive related parameters analysis here, including the RK and the waviness, roughness, straightness, roundness, and all these parameters are all available in this 2D automotive modules. So you will only need it if you are in this industry, and this is only is available in the module, optional module. The fourth one that I'm going to introduce you is an advanced 3D surface texture module. So this is unlike the previous three module. This analysis is applicable for the 3D data. So subsurface analysis, so segmentation is important for this 3D analysis. So we have an ISO standard a watershed algorithm that you can segment the different part of the surface, and according to this algorithm, ISO compliant algorithm, you can segment it, and then you can do the analysis. And for people that studying this, you should be very familiar with this analysis where you can segment the surface that you scan, and then according to ISO standard, and then you can do a further analysis like height, area, volume from there. So in the advanced 3D surface texture module as well, you can compare two surfaces. For example, you have a surface A on the left side, and you also have a surface B on the right side. You can actually do some calculations or do some formulas. For example, if you are doing a tribology, you can scan the surface before the test. Then after the test, you can also scan on the surface, and then the result you can minus data B from A. So data A minus data B will be on the right side here. So this is very good analysis for studying like a wear test before and after. You have a original surface, and then after some tests, and then you can actually minus the data. And should you want to do a more complicated analysis, you can actually apply a formula on the surface. In this case, we have three surfaces, and then what I want the result to output here is A plus B minus C and divide by C. So this, you can apply the formula. So for each point on the surface A and B and C, you apply this formula and do the calculation and come up with a data result here. So depending on your needs, you can actually apply different kind of formulas here, and it's a user-defined formula and mathematic functions, and then you can come up with the data here. So a lot of calculation are specific to a specific industry and applications, and the software has just flexible for the user to define their own mathematical equations. There is a peak count distribution analysis as well, come with the software. And here there are two examples here, number of peaks, and there is a definition of what is a peak and written here. And there also a number of grains from the surface, and there are also a definition of what is a grains. So a threshold level is used to cut the surface, and then you can from that definition, the software will calculate and then report the distribution here. So for example, if you are doing a solar solar cell surface study, surface texture study. You can apply this and see how many counts on the surface, or how many peak, or how many grains on the surface, and then the software will automatically report the distribution for the surface that you scan. So this is a very good application for the people that would like to study the surface texture or uniformity study. So in this advanced 3D surface texture module as well, there is a software that do the very depth measurement. In these examples, is a cosmetic company. So the wrinkles before the treatments and after the treatments, you can see that they will just measure on the artificial skin surface. Then you can apply the cosmetic, and then you can see the result. So you can compare before and after, and using this valley and depth measurements. So for a lot of surface, if you're from a semiconductors, you can the lead frame, and also some roughness measurement on the pad that you need to do this kind of study, and then you can use this software to do it. The surface, the module also includes the texture isotropic. So in this surface, you can see that there is no machine lines, and then you can use that software. You can see that this software is the distribution of the texture is 91.2% isotropic, but you cannot, if you compare to the next surface, which has a lot of machine marks, you can see that first direction is a 14 degree, and the second direction is 0.26, and then the third direction, there are several machine lines that appear on this surface, and you can actually report using this software. So you can also set the threshold for the 3D surfaces, and the color will just display anything that given below a given height, or above a given height, or in between the height. So the color of you can set the software, and then they will tell you the distribution of which area has more red or which area has more blue, depending on the threshold that you set. Then you will report the volume, report the area on the data, and report in terms of percentage or the actual volume per surface unit. So this is a good surface study, the surface study for this kind of for surface texture study. Similarly to 2D surface texture module, that for 3D you also can simulate morphological filtering. So this is the original picture, and then should this surface be scanned by a stylus, for example, you can using a 20 micron stylus, and this will be the surface how the surface looks like using this kind of using the 20 micron stylus. And you use a 100 micron stylus, even a bigger stylus, and the surface will look like this. So the original and the filtering using the 20 micron, or filtering using the 100 micron, and then to simulate the surface, should the surface is scanned using a stylus method. So this is probably a very good features for comparing the stylus and also the 3D optical measurement data. So a lot of manufacturing, they are using a 2D method, like a probe to scan a surface. They may upgrade their old system to a 3D method, like non-contact 3D optical method, but they will need to this software to do the comparison between before and after. So using 2D and 3D, but you have to do a correlation and simulate the 3D data if they are using a 2D method to do it. So come with the module as well. There is also a module called 3D Fourier Analysis module. In this module, it has a lot of mathematically functions like frequency spectrum, power spectrum density, surface isotropic directionality, and also periodicity, and autocorrelation, intercorrelations, and these kind of functions that for people that are studying surface texture in details. So there's a lot of functions including in this 3D module as well, such as detecting the smaller spectral structures, denoising. So this is the screen capture of the functions, and they're summarizing here. So if you are advanced users in the university or research center, you probably will need this one to do the surface analysis. So lastly, we also have a statistics module, 2D and for 3D as well. What this module do is once you have a data capture and analyze, for example, you have measured 100 of them, and you will need this module to do some statistical calculations to control your process, use the outcome to control your process, or do the data export. This has a good summary of what it does. So, for example, you have measured multiple locations. You will show you the upper limit, lower limit, and the mean line, and also do some correlations and using the statistical data. So this will be a very good module for people in the process that you have a lot of data, and then you can use this software to calculate the process relevant parameters for you to control the process. So as a summary, Vision64 Map overview, I have just shown you the 3D images and the multiple language interface, and also the software comes with a lot of standard from different country, and also the data reporting, and it comes with a lot of modules, and you can talk to your our sales representative in different countries or in different regions for more information. So currently we have a few models in the markets for the 3D optical microscope. We have a Contour Elite K. We also have a Contour Elite I and Contour Elite X and Ampliflex. So for Contour Elite I, Elite X and Ampliflex, the Vision64 Map analysis software is the basic without the modules. The basic is default as a default standard copy. But for Contour Elite K, the basic Vision64 Map software is optional items. And for this, Bruker will be announcing promotions for every Contour Elite case that the promotion will start should be announcing very soon until October. So for every Contour Elite K, it will come a free copy as well for the Vision64 Map basic software. So the free copy will just include the basic software, and it does not include the modules. So from now until October, so the free copy will be applicable for all the modules, all the models as listed here: Contour Elite K, Elite I, Elite X, and also Ampliflex. Okay, that's all for my introductions and presentations on the Vision64 Map software. I'm now open for questions. You can just type your questions in the question column. Then once I read that, I will just answer that here. If not, I will just email you with the details informations. So we have questions asking whether this Vision64, if the Vision64 map is given, will the Vision64 be given as well? So the answer is yes. The Vision64 is Vision64. The main software is applicable for data acquisitions, as well as some of the analysis standard analysis that listed. You can do the Vision64 main software. This Vision64 map software is for the particular specific module applicable to a certain industry, which is, for example, the automotive industry. You have a standard module. So when you have Vision64 map software, and the Vision64 software will come as well with the main system. Any more questions from the audience? Okay, I'm now passing back to Siu Ting.
Okay, thank you, Richie. There is a question on what is the principle for non-contact roughness measurement?
There's a question on, sorry.
What is the principle for non-contact roughness measurement?
Okay, it's based on the interferometric technique. So our 3D optical microscope is based on interferometry. Let me go back to the first slide here. Okay, interferometry, if you can go Google, you type white light interferometer. So this is the technique here. So we have a light source, and then the beam splitter will split the light to two parts, one to the sample and one to the reference mirror, and then recombine them, and then you can see fringes, and we are using this fringe to scan over the surface. Then after that, you can produce this 3D face map, which you can use Vision64 software or Vision64 Map software to do the analysis. So again, this is a cartoon. So this is an objective magnifying your samples. So when the objective is in focus with the samples, you can actually see fringes on the surface. So the scanner, the camera will capture the frame. The camera is the scanner will be scanning very fast from top to bottom, and then the camera will capturing the frame very fast. For example, you can be like 24 micron per second, and for slow speed, if you're high speed, you can go to like 96 micron per second. So the camera is for 1 second, the camera can capture about 60 frames. So when the scanner, when the objective is scanning down, for every point, you will have an interference pattern at the focus area, and then all these frames will be compiled. Scanning down will be compiled to become a face map. So should you need to know more, you can leave your email. I can send you some information about our interferometer, or you can go Google vertical scanning interferometry. So this is the method, the principal theories of our 3D optical microscope. So we do have other webinars to talk about this interferometry technique. You just go to Bruker website and to look for that webinar, and it will talk about the interferometry technique by my colleagues. But today we are focusing on the analysis part, which after capturing the data from the interferometer, then we do the analysis from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Richie. There is another question. Can we upgrade the old software to have this Vision64?
The answer, it depends on, can you contact, because there is a requirement for the computer and the memory, and we have to take the information back to factory and see whether this is an add-on software. So it may work independently with your current platform. So please contact, leave your email, then I'll get more information about your current system, then I'll let you know. So if you purchased it recently, the answer is yes. If you purchased it like a couple of years ago, and the answer is likely no, because one of the reasons is the computer may not be able to take the software.
Okay, thank you very much, Richie. What is the Z direction resolution?
Okay. The Z resolution for this 3D optical microscope is 0.1 according to our brochure. So if you give me two surfaces, smooth surface, one is 0.1 nanometer, the other one is 0.2 nanometer, I can differentiate which one is 0.1 and this one is 0.2 nanometers. So the quick answer for this question is 0.1 nanometers with vertical resolutions. For the lateral resolution, it depends on the magnifications. For example, if you use 50x or 100x, it can be 300 to 500 nanometers for one point, lateral point, X and Y. If you are using the 5x, it's a 1 micron. So X and Y resolutions, it depends on magnification, but for all the magnification, the Z is the Z resolution or the vertical resolution is 0.1 nanometers.
Thank you very much, Richie. I believe there is no further questions. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our webinar for today. We hope you have found it informative and helpful. If there are further questions after this webinar, please email us at bns.asia@bruker.com. Before we leave this webinar, we would appreciate it if you could fill a short survey to help us understand and serve your needs better. Thank you very much and have a good day ahead.
Thank you.